The government of your country is keeping a secret from you. Right now, as you go about your day, new laws are being put in place that will change how your personal data is handled, who gets access to it, and how much control you have over it. But do you know what most likely you have in common with billions of other people around the world? Okay, you don't. Here's it. You have absolutely no idea that these changes are happening. Oh, am I wrong? And while you might think, well, I'm not doing anything illegal, so why should I care? The truth is, these changes could redefine your everyday life, your job, even your interactions online. Like many others, you might not realize how it would impact your job, especially if you work in cybersecurity or you handle customer data. It could change the entire way we deal with digital privacy, affecting businesses, both big and small ones. And let me tell you, these changes are not just subtle adjustments, they are shaking the foundations of how we think about privacy. This is one video you don't want to miss any part of it, because I'm breaking down the most crucial updates in global data privacy. I'm revealing the biggest compliance challenges, and then I'll break down what this means for you. It's going to be a fun but information-packed ride. So let's get started. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Tolu Michael, cybersecurity expert and of course the host of this channel. In this video, we are unpacking the latest global shift in data privacy regulation, what is changing and how it impacts you, and most importantly, how to navigate this update to stay compliant and secure. Whether you're leading a business, working in cybersecurity, or you just want to understand how your personal data is being managed, you'll find this session invaluable. So now let's zoom out and take a look at the bigger picture. All around the world, countries are pushing new data privacy laws. For instance, in California, the expanded California Privacy Rights Act is pushing tech companies to their limit, requiring them to give users more control over their data and even how it's processed. It's like giving you the keys to your own digital house, letting you decide who enters what they do there. Sounds good, right? But it's not that simple. Now, for example, a small business in San Diego suddenly finds itself needing to comply with the same complex rules as Facebook or Google when it comes to user data. Now think about that. A local coffee shop with an online ordering system having to follow the same privacy guidelines as a tech giant, with a cost of compliance up to $7,500 per violation. Yeah, those fines add up real quick, especially when you don't even realize you're breaking the rules. Meanwhile, across the ocean in the European Union, the AI Act is turning heads. It's all about making sure AI isn't just a mysterious black box that no one understands. The EU wants companies to be transparent about how AI systems use personal data. No more algorithms that quietly decide your credit score or job prospects without anyone knowing. The stakes are high too, with potential fines that could reach 6% of global turnover for major companies that fail to comply. But why should this matter to you? Are there concerns you should know about? Well, the answer is yes, to a large extent. Whether you run a business, work in tech, or simply care about your privacy, these new rules will redefine everything. For instance, let's say you run an online store and someone in the EU places an order. Now, thanks to GDPR and the AI Act, you are legally bound to provide transparency about how you store and use their data. Even if you're biased in New York, the laws travel with the data. Or let's say, by an AI engineer, you've built a fantastic recommendation algorithm for streaming service. Now, the EU's AI Act might require you to explain how it works, not just to regulators, but to users themselves. It's like a chef having to publish every step of a secret recipe. See, while transparency is great for users, it can add layers of complexities for developers and businesses trying to stay competitive. Now, let's talk about India's Digital Personal Data Protection Bill. It's a turning point, and not just for the 1.4 billion people in India. This bill is making wave, and this wave isn't limited to India. With over 1 billion people under its scope, it is setting a precedent that other countries in Asia are watching very closely. Now, imagine a tech startup in Mumbai now has to navigate a sea of new regulations about how to store and process user data. Gone are the days when you could scrape together a user database without too many questions asked. Now, companies must get explicit consent from users before collecting data and must report breaches within 72 hours. So imagine you're a user in India and you find out that your favorite shopping app has been collecting your location data without telling you. Now, with this new regulation, you have the right to demand that they delete that data. It's a huge shift in power, and it could inspire similar laws in other parts of Asia. I know what some of you might be thinking. This all sounds great, but how does it benefit me? me? Well, here is where it gets exciting. These changes aren't just affecting businesses, they are creating new opportunities for jobs. Yes, you heard that right. If you're looking to get into cybersecurity, data compliance, or even AI ethics, there's never been a better time. In fact, reports suggest that demand for data privacy officers has soared by 50% in the last year alone. Companies need experts to help them navigate these new laws and avoid those hefty fines. And that could be you, stepping into a role that's not only in high demand, but also crucial for the digital age. Now think about it like this. If companies have to lock their digital doors better, they will need more locksmiths, right? And you could be the one with the keys. But here's the catch. Yes, there's always a catch, okay? While these laws are meant to protect our privacy, they are not perfect. They introduce challenges that many businesses are struggling to keep up with. Let me give you an example. For instance, in a survey by Deloitte, over 60% of businesses said that they found it challenging to interpret these new laws. That means companies are struggling with questions like, what exactly counts as sensitive data? Or how do I verify a user request to delete their data? And that's not all. These challenges can actually slow down innovation. Now imagine a startup that wants to roll out a new AI feature but get tangled up in a compliance check for months. It's like being ready to launch your dream restaurant but getting stuck with building permits and health code. Necessary? Yet frustrating? Absolutely. So what can you do about all this? How do you make sure you're not caught off guard? First, follow the changes in data privacy law. Even if they seem like legal jargon, trust me, understanding the basics can save you a lot of headaches down the line. Now imagine being a small business owner in the European Union when GDPR went into effect in 2018. Many businesses that were not prepared faced massive fines, up to 4% of their global annual turnover. One of the most famous cases was British Airways. They faced a fine of nearly £183 million after a data breach exposed personal information of about 500,000 customers. Fortunately for them, due to the pandemic's economic impact, this fine was later reduced to £20 million, which is still a lot of money, by the way. The fact is, this could have been avoided if they had stayed up to date with the requirement of GDPR, like encrypting data and implementing stricter access control. Staying informed isn't just about reading dense legal documents. Your aim should be to understand how new regulations could impact your day-to-day operations and then how to adapt to them before they become costly. Now, secondly, you want to invest in your skill. If you're in tech, get familiar with data privacy tools. Learn how to implement privacy-first designs and then understand the fundamentals of cybersecurity. Even a basic understanding can make you a valuable asset to your company. The SolarWinds cyber attack in 2020 is a perfect example in this instance, where numerous US federal agencies and large corporations became compromised. This incident highlighted the need for cybersecurity professionals who understand both threat detection and incident response. After the breach, companies rushed to hire individuals who could analyze and prevent similar attacks. Many cybersecurity professionals who had invested time in learning about threat hunting, incident response, and the tools needed to monitor network actively found themselves in high demand. A solid example is the growing use of tools like Splunk or Wireshark, which have become industry standards for network monitoring. Learning these tools allowed professionals to stand out during the surge in demand for cybersecurity talent, showing that investing in skills is not just a resume booster, it is a career insurance. And finally, advocate for transparency. If you're a user, demand to know how your data is being used. If you're a business owner, make it a point to educate your customers. Transparency isn't just about following the rules, it's about building trust in an age where trust is hard to come by. A great example of transparency building trust is Apple's approach to data privacy. When they launched the app tracking transparency feature, which allows users to decide whether apps can track their data, it became a hot topic. Facebook openly criticized this move, fearing the impact on targeted advertising, but many users appreciated Apple's stance on giving them more control over their data. This transparency didn't just comply with new regulations, it became a selling point, showing consumers that Apple prioritized their privacy. Now compare this with companies like Cambridge Analytica, whose lack of transparency led to a scandal and distrust. Transparency doesn't just help you avoid fines, it shapes how your customers perceive your brand in a data-driven world. What's the bottom line here? Why does all of this matter? These changes are reshaping the digital world as we knew it. They are giving us more control over our data, but they are also altering the way businesses operate. They are creating new opportunities, but they are also introducing new challenges. And you're right in the middle of this shift. You have the chance to either become someone who adapts, grows, and thrives in this new landscape, or you could find yourself struggling to catch up. The choice is yours. Now, if you found this video helpful, please don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you never miss an update on what is happening in the world of tech and cybersecurity. And for those of you sticking around to the end, here's a little extra something for you. The future of data privacy isn't just about law. It's about people like you who understand, adapt, and push the boundaries of what is possible, okay? And I hope I'm leaving you better than I met you. I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.